this is ridiculous, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
sorry, whole nother tangent.
No, that's okay.
I'm just like toilet paper. Why aren't you buying vitamin C, colloidal silver, or vitamin D? Hey, maybe some produce instead of some freaking toilet paper. Gee, it's just crazy.
Isn't that funny? I just went, I've already hit record, by the way. Sorry, we were just rolling on some good stuff. So I say, let's just go with the show now, and I can edit later.
Okay.
I have to. Anyway, well, before we do get going, this is TK, okay? And she's also known as the Hair Doctor. We became friends because of my cancer site and stuff. And one of the things that I did when I cut my hair is I donated to her because she knows how to take that and now make it into a wig for people that need, you know, that are bald because of cancer, right? How's that going? You got it, and it's going to work.
Yeah, so to let you know, we're going to do a video on that because our lovely Governor Doug Ducey actually deregulated one of my licenses and laws about May, so everything was shut down. So long story short, when I start making wigs for people, it takes me about 6 months because I have to take your hair and actually put it into a sewing machine and kind of lay it out. Right. But I'm trying to now network with the kids, Shriners. So I'm doing a thing with the Shriners, and I'm going to start making things for the kids that are in their wheelchairs.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, because I have the I Cure Cancer group on Facebook, and she has dealt with and we don't even call it cancer anymore. We call it acidosis. And you had multiple kinds, didn't you? What was your diagnosis?
Yeah, and that's what I tell people. I even say, you know, in our groups, you know, metabolic issues, this is what we're talking about, autoimmunity. And why do we have all these autoimmune diseases? It's because we're not preventative. So like the whole point with my TED Talk, I grew up in Amish country, and everyone's like, okay, what does that mean? Well, I was raised with fruits, seeds, nuts, and Jesus, right? Well, now here we are at 53, and I still have some beliefs, but my beliefs has changed because my brain was formed on my environment. So like now at 53, I know a little bit more. Yes, it's fruits, seeds, and nuts changing our brain. But back then I had breast implants. So I explain this to a lot of people. Did I do breast implants because people have said a lot of really horrible things regarding implants. And I'm like this, not everybody gets breast implants because they want to impress people. Sometimes it's just for their own reasons, right? So after I got the breast implants, as you know, I was in Hollywood. I was actually doing some Playboy things in Baywatch, and they said specifically, hey, at that time, I can't name names, I have a few hair clients, and they're like, hey, they want you to get implants to be on Baywatch. I'm like, okay, well, whatever I need to do. Well, we're talking 30 years ago. So had I known that the silicone adjuvant, which is called Asia, we have a group about this now, it's the silicone adjuvant. It's not specifically the breast implant, it's the silicone that's in the capsule. So if we talk about cancer and what you're talking about, all of those things added to heavy metals, acidosis, messing up my pH, clogging my blood, heavy metals. Do you get what I'm saying? So you tap in the implants, along with the Epstein's barr that I didn't have treated because I didn't know how to do it, what I need to do now. And then you tack on stress, the crap in our environment, chemtrails, whatever else they're trying to do. Of course, the cancer genes are going to start mutating, right? So I had my kidney removed 7 years ago. At that time, they gave me a year to live. And that's kind of when I went on a tangent with that TED Talk, because I said a year, like, I don't understand who you are to give the power to somebody. That's kind of weird. Can I grow a kidney? Because, you know, kind of crazy. I watch a lot of House. I'm like, I know that people can grow livers. The guy in Shameless, people can grow organs, right? He's like, nothing. And this is what started me on my whole advocacy, because I'm like, here I am with my nephrologist, my urologist, my oncologist, and not one of them have a clue. And I'm like, well, how did the cancer start? And they're like, well, things happen, you know. Kind of even my ex is like, shit just happens. I'm like, yeah, but shit happens for a reason, because our body is in a state of turmoil, right? So like even with this crap with the coronavirus, fear-based agendas, they're going to rocket people's cortisol. Stress is going to mess up their immune system. Everyone's going to be sick because they're all empty and afraid and they're not taking care of themselves. So,
whoa, you just summed it up right there, Wonder Woman.
I ramble a lot. I'm sorry.
No, that was it. Boom. We don't even have to go on. Okay, bye. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day. There you go.
So I have to say, though, I had my kidney removed 7 years ago. look, I'm still here. And they gave me actually 5 years after that, because he said renal cell carcinoma and what you're having with your labs. And I'm like, my labs, you guys aren't even checking my GFR. They aren't doing anything. He says, after we take out the cancerous kidney, you're going to be fine. I go, well, should I change my diet or do anything different? You know, I'm thinking, hey, I have a kidney missing. And he says, well, millions of people live without a kidney. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm an athlete, hardcore triathlon, mountain biker, 50 miles a day. I was sponsored back in the day, teach spin, fitness. I'm all about, you know, athletic coaching. I said, am I going to be able to go back to spin or anything? He's like, yeah, I wouldn't do that. You have a knee replacement. Just be chill, do what you're doing, but you don't need to give up anything. So long story short, I was pissed after that. And I went on a fast for like 7 days. And then I really got into my whole going vegan, right? And then 2 years later, I said, damn it, I'm still sick. Like there's something going on. That's when the breast implants came into play. So I started a group. We actually had 100,000 ladies on the original group. We kind of shifted off because we're all kind of doing our own thing with our groups, right? But after the implants, that's when I realized about all the co-infections. Epstein's Barr, Lyme, mold, silicone poisoning, coronavirus, all of this crap all revolves around everything and the implants. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And like I keep telling people now, if you don't change radically after a cancer diagnosis, like these people don't do anything to change. I go, you have to pretty much change your whole entire life. Food, friends, family, thinking, boyfriends, girlfriends, environment, everything that you were raised to believe is pretty much just a belief based on what you grew up with, you know? So I'm trying to tell people, hey, if we can just get back to prevention when these things happen, because they're going to keep happening, because the rich people like Bill Gates and the Facebook guy and the Amazon guy, they all want to make money. So I even said yesterday, who's making the most money right now with this pandemic? I'm like, right. It's the Amazon guy. It's like, that kind of is weird to me. You start putting more pieces of the puzzle together, you know?
Yeah. We know who it is. It's the Rothschilds. That's it. I mean, there's 12 families. You can look them up. They're called the Illuminati. And they do whatever they want with us. This is a game for them. You know, right. This is all just a game. Are you into that at all? Have you been into any of the conspiracy theories?
Yeah, that's what I just said earlier. I just posted about him on my group, right? Because my group is actually to inform the masses, and I got flag checked, whatever fake news stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And when I responded to this person, I said, it isn't fake news because here's the PDF file and the document, and I'm just trying to educate the masses. She goes, well, what does that have to do with the coronavirus? And I'm thinking, oh my God, I just don't know if these people are listening. Are these people not listening to what's happening?
Yeah, yeah. Where are you? You're in California? No, Arizona.
Arizona.
And what's it like there? Anything new and different, or is it pretty much business as usual?
I don't know. I mean, the scare here isn't as big. You know, even my ex who works for PIMC, which is Public Indian Medical Services, I mean, no one's really shut down here. There are restaurants and bars, you know, because they're trying to freak everybody out with the 6 foot, 3 feet, and then it changes the next day. But like, people are still working. And like what we were talking about, the governor, Doug Ducey, I'm like, whatever. I already had a petition out against him when he tried to deregulate my profession, which they did. They passed a law in May that deregulated licensed hair professionals. And I go, how is that helping the economy? So I was like going, bingo, here we go again with another politic issue, passing a bill to actually hurt all the middle class people like me, right? Because right now, if you have a business with only 2 employees, you can stay open, which is like what I have. But because of all the media scare, no one's going to come to that business right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know. It's unreal what's going on. I noticed that I'm kind of a recluse anyway. I've never really been one to go out. So it's all business as usual for me. I just, as an empath, I think I feel everybody else's angst or something. But I went out today to get some stuff in the shop, and the only thing that was missing was toilet paper. Ridiculous. You can tell.
Maybe we should sell bidets on our podcast.
What's that?
Maybe you and I should sell bidets because I don't really use toilet paper or tampons since the cancer anyways.
Right? Yeah. Well, there's going to be a lot of good that does come for this. Things like that, people are going to learn about what you just said, the bidets are healthier. And
right.
Hopefully they're learning that baking soda is the key right now. I don't care what anybody says, I got exactly what they say is going around right when the Chinese were all just really getting it.
December, yeah, in
Oh
December.
yeah, you were there. You were there.
I had it in December.
Right.
Yes.
You were sick first.
Yes.
And then I was.
Yeah, the guy with the birds and the post about the dead birds and the briefcase was in like October, and my ex was sick in December. Chemist was sick. You were sick. I was sick. And I know it. We had it all right in December. But they're like, oh, first case in January. I'm like, first case, you guys knew about this since 1980 and 2003. Bill Gates put his patent on it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm like, really?
Yeah. It's amazing what this has done. The conspiracies. The one that I like the most and really wish happens is like, I'm not going to mention names, but we'll call them the draconians. I hope they all get arrested and taken out, and they let human beings run the show for a while. That's the way I'm looking at it. But this is your show, so I'm not going to get too deep into that stuff right now. I was about to go there, you know, I could really go there. We'll start talking about aliens and stuff. I don't stop now. So let's stick to the health area.
Okay.
But it's hard to separate the two anymore. You know, I made my movie, I Cure Cancer. There it is. And it was because I found out you could cure yourself of cancer if you stayed away from your oncologist. I found that out in the 90s, you know, and you and I have this in common. We know that
Right.
that Western medicine is a joke. It's there to hurt you. The draconians, you know, without getting too deeper, just think of them as that. They're mean old draconians. And they run the show, and they make the laws, they enforce the laws. So that's why it's known as draconian law. It's known as draconian medicine, you know. So I've really looked into that for my next film, which is called Space Cadet, and I'm going to be allowed to go off the roof with that one because I'm a space cadet. You know, I've already lost friends because of this because they're like, oh, you're a space cadet. I'm like, yeah, sorry. If you look it up, it's statistically impossible to be alone.
Right, and I'm like, hello, they already have the, in Scottsdale, we have cranial, I forget what it's called. People are in little pea pods here. So the rich people, like Tom Cruise and all the weirdos with the Illuminati and Tom Hanks, can bring their sisters to Arizona, implant the DNA, and bring their humans back. I mean, we have it in Scottsdale. There's like these pea pods. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I'm like this to people, and I have to really be careful because of how I was raised, right? And I tell people, I don't knock religion, doctors, I don't knock things, but I've been more opened over the last 30 years to really what's out there. And we can't possibly be the only people. Hello?
Yeah.
You know?
So that's after making the film, I found out who the culprits were. I was like, why doesn't anybody know about holistic ways of treating cancer? They only know chemo, radiation, and surgery. And that's because the Dracos run the medicine, they run the politics, they run the jails, they run everything. So it's a draconian world, and we're just living in it. So that's why I always think it's better to be your own best advocate, be your own
superhero.
Yeah, superhero. So let's talk a little bit about specifically how you got yourself from borderline death to being Wonder Woman, Superwoman again. Like physically, what'd you do, food-wise and supplement-wise?
So, and a lot of people say this to me, and I guess I'll just come out and say it because it doesn't matter anymore. A lot of people will say, TK, I can't do what you do. I said, well, if you were given a near-death experience, wouldn't you want to do whatever you could to change the outcome? And they're like, well, I can't. I'm on disability. I can't pay for this. My insurance. I said, insurance, that's what I'm going to talk about first. First of all, insurance is sick pay. It's run by corporations and government. After cancer, I was elected through my divorce to go on COBRA. Okay, now when I went through the divorce, because I wasn't all about the money with him, I just needed to get to A to B, right? Because I still love him, right? I said, insurance. I'm like, so my alimony is gonna go to COBRA? They wanted like $1,200 a month. So last year, when I got divorced, and I tell this to everybody, I canceled insurance. Why? Because for me, it's sick pay, it's a placebo. And I feel like this, if I have to go back to the doctor to have surgery, I'll figure it out at that time. But as long as I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm not going to get sick again. That's how my brain thinks. I also started doing a lot of brain Stimulation, talking with Bruce Lipton, Dr. Joe, Matt Kahn. I tried to do all of these things in Sedona where I was trying to change the way my brain was thinking to keep the cellular activity, right? But because I explained to people, I'm so passionate, I have so much knowledge, it's making me crazy. And even when I go educate doctors, I have to just stop because I'm like, okay, I have to talk to them about the facts because they don't understand what I'm talking about. But when you take it all together, religion, politics, food, air, Facebook, whatever, it all mutates. 5G we're talking about. So in my group, when they say they can't be who I am and what I'm doing, I'm going to reiterate this. For the last year, I've been homeless and I've had no car. And I tell people this, thank God I have a hair salon. And I was staying in there for a little while, okay? Staying at my hair salon. I have an infrared box there. I have an oxygen chamber. My salon is really like all wellness. So just being in my salon was able to help me kind of heal myself because I was alone. I made sure that this whole last year of being homeless, I focused on me and what I needed to do and find the purpose. That's why I'm here today, right? So I'm trying to educate these people. You could be living in a shoebox and still be able to change your life by doing the right things. So when people say, I can't eat healthy because it's too expensive, I don't understand that because you can go buy 3 apples and a banana for like $2, right? So I explain to people, if you can't do everything that I'm doing to beat the cancer and do the research, because a lot of people don't have that, is it the tenacity? I don't know what the word is. Or
yeah,
right? I said, then just change 2 things in your life. Food is medicine. At least start with that. Change the way you eat. And then I hear this, well, I can't afford that. And I'm just going, even with this pandemic crap, I go, why are you all buying canned food and shit that's in bags? And they're like, well, what happens if the electric goes off and all that? I go, buy raw produce, get potatoes and sweet potatoes and oranges and grapefruits. Did you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah, exactly. And I can hone that a bit because I've been learning myself through hanging out with you follow him as well, Dr. Robert Young.
Right.
I've learned recently that being vegan really isn't good enough, and that's what my next book's going to be called. I was going to call it Better Than Vegan, but I think I'm just going to call it Alkaline Vegan. So there's no, it's a little ballsy. It's better than vegan, and I think I'm an alkaline vegan. That's it.
Right.
Which means I'm a vegan, but I don't take the apples, the oranges, or the bananas, or the pineapples because that's pure sugar. And even though it's natural, if it's your cheat day, that's better than the Snickers bar, but it's not much. So I'm going for the Snickers bar on a cheat day,
Right.
But then take that teaspoon of baking soda in water after most meals, let alone an acidic one,
Right.
And that, I think at one point I was trying to say that we've been jumping around here, but baking soda seems to be the cure for what ails you. And it's called, because what's ailing you? Acidity. And that's what my friends are explaining this breakout is everybody's already acidic. I mean, everybody, none of you eat like me, I bet. Even my vegan friends are acidic, and some of them are coming to me now saying, I'm sick, what's wrong?
Right.
A lot of vegan people get sick after a while. It's because you have to be better than vegan. My book's going to explain it. You have to be an alkaline vegan. And the way you do that is by eating alkaline, dark green cruciferous vegetables. The fruits you get is lemons and limes and grapefruit. No more bananas, apples, and oranges. Just because we run on electrons, and the fruits, those sweet ones, have protons, and they suck out electrons, so it takes your life away. So there's probably a new one for you. Trust me, it's new for me. I just learned this thanks to Dr. Robert Young. So,
but I'm saying is the people that we're trying to reach who aren't healthy won't even eat an apple, is what I'm trying. Do you get what I'm saying? They would reach for the canned stuff as opposed to getting something that's fresh that was.
There you go. I get you. Yeah, because they have no desire to change.
Right.
A lot of them probably don't know, though. That's what I'm thinking, that they don't know that everything that has sugar in it out there is from fructose, right? Corn.
Right.
From corn, which is GMO. So,
right.
And that's where I'm an idiot myself, because all these years I'm pretty much Mr. Perfect during the week. But if it's the weekend, since I ain't drinking liquor anymore or doing any of those bad things, I'm, damn it, allowed to have a chocolate bar. But then those stupid chocolate bars got GMOs in it. It's like, if I'm lucky, I talk myself out of it, and I go get a, some organic ice cream. Or then you can't do cream because then it's cows, and I forget about them.
Right.
It's kind of hard to find. But you know what? The main thing to remember is just take that teaspoon of baking soda after any questionable meal. And then you're set. Your pancreas is saved. All your kidneys. I don't know how it all works, but all the organs down there, they go nuts when you're eating sugar and meats and dairy.
Well, and right, and I was talking a lot about that with these clients. I said, with my take is about metabolic and aloe, because that's my whole business. Like my car is wrapped, and I've been working at Ironwood Cancer Foundation as a facilitator for 10 years, and they let me park the car there, right? And people will be like, why does your hair business have a plant? I said, well, because allergen is collagen synthesis. I go, and that's actually the number 2 thing that you should be doing after you got cancer, is making sure your gut is repaired, right? They don't even get that, right? Or people will just be like, well, how is that going to help everything else? I'm like, because it's not just aloe. It has like 27 minerals and trace minerals that we're lacking from everything being depleted. Because a lot of us people that had breast implants in my group have what's called MTFHR. It's a gene mutation. Not a big deal. Most of us have it. A lot of us in the implant groups also have Epstein's-Barr and Lyme. Is it a big deal? Yes, if you don't treat it. So this is what I'm telling people. All of the diseases and viral infections that you're trying to treat, you're eating wrong, because now there's this guy named, I think his name is Anthony somebody, Williams, this medical medium guy. I go, you have all these people now trying to go like this and try and push one thing, but they don't really understand the whole situation like you and I. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you kind of have to go through the cancer or through the hair loss to be able to understand how to repair the damage. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, well, you're in first shock or survival mode if you have cancer.
Right.
It's whoever you believe in, God or whatever, coming down to say, you can come home now if you want. It's obviously something's pretty tough down there. Come on home. Come on, you can do it. And then some of you go, but I'm not ready yet. And then you start researching, and next thing you know, you're your own doctor, and here you are, like 7 years later, whatever you said, right? I mean,
yeah. But I will tell you what you just said now about the apples, bananas, and oranges. I have to repick. I don't eat those things also because of what you said. But when I'm trying to get someone who's 250 pounds to try and sort of merge to sort of be healthy,
right,
I'm trying to promote certain things within reason. And then after I do a history, because I do have a consultant degree, I kind of go through there. And if they have Epstein's-Barr, hypothetically, they can't eat those 7 foods because that feeds a virus. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Right. But it's trying to get them away from eating what they're eating, which is pure crap anyways. McDonald's, Subway, whatever they're eating, gluten bread, I don't know, packaged sardines, or not sardines, that packaged beef jerky stuff. Like everyone's eating packaged food.
Man, just go across the country and realize how little there is to eat out there. If it's at night and nothing's open but the truck stops and stuff, I mean, there's either you can't even really get water, because it's usually in a plastic that seeps, estrogen releasers and, isn't good for you. There's nothing you could buy at a truck stop, really, unless there's some new ones now. I haven't gone across country recently. I was happy last time we were in Chicago. The 7-Eleven had some organic stuff in it. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, wow. 7-Eleven. So, wow. I mean, I don't know. It's right now. You go to the store and all my favorite stuff's still there. All the organic.
Right. That's what I said. I go, oh my God. I'm like, they still have all of my kale things here. And she goes, what? I'm like, what are people buying? No one bought any sweet potatoes. She goes, what do you mean? I'm like, well, that's vitamin K and A. You need sweet potatoes. They're all buying just the same crap. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's lucky for us because we walk in and all our stuff's there. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about? It's such an interesting time. When it first happened, I was like, no way.
No, I already said this, because last summer, because I feel like, we're empaths, but I also feel like I have some kind of, I can see things, And then in October, I was at the convention with Bruce Lipton and Dr. Joe about the evolving your brain. And I go, I feel like there's going to be a shift in in a couple weeks. Long story short, I'm like, here we are. And I already felt this was coming out because of the stuff that I do with my groups, right? So back in like December, I'm telling everybody, hey, prevention, let's get on the aloe, get your vitamin D. We do IV therapy at the wellness salon. I'm like, hey, come in, try and get your IV therapy. Let's like balance your pH. Nobody, everybody's like, oh, you're just TK, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, no, I feel like something's going to happen because I was really sick in December. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you and I were going to do this show. I didn't want to say anything to people because I'm like, these stupid test kits they have. I'm like, are you kidding me? I go, do you know how many people die of tuberculosis? I don't even really know if the test kit is right. So I swear that I had it already.
Yeah.
And I do all my stuff like you do. And it wasn't fun. I mean, I was probably down for like 2 weeks, but I'm here. I feel better.
Yeah, that's good because I remember you were sick we had to cancel our first show, and then we had to cancel the second show because I got sick.
Yes.
And the whole family was except for one. And man, it was just a regular cold, but a little worse.
Right.
A little worse. Like only 1 day that I had to spend in bed, and within 4 or 5 I was done. So, but
right,
go ahead.
Well, that's what I said. People like you and me, and even X, who I'm sure has had it, right? Because we've been living this lifestyle this way, when this shit happens, we can fight it off. And that's what I said. People that are dying, unfortunately, I hate to say it in a weird way, because I even explained this to my dad, right? When people get older and they're not healthy, they have to find a way to thin the herd. That's their way of thinning the herd. Sorry to say, it sounds horrible to say, but that's what they're doing. And I tell these groups, like, when we talk about fear-based agenda, it's no different than being in a relationship that's being abusive or controlling. Power, pleasure, money, pain, control, it's kind of all the same. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So hopefully through all of this, we can educate people on to not make decisions based on fear and emotions, because that's what's happening. And closing down the whole freaking planet is just crazy to me. I'm like, this is just crazy.
Yeah, it's I've been thinking this is the shot in the arm we need, though. I mean, the first couple of days I was upset about it, but then I got well, I'm telling people about interstitial fluids, you know. Right. I'm like, you don't have the flu. You're a filthy animal. Your interstitial fluids are all acidic because of the crap you're eating and the stuff you're breathing and all that. And they're like, really? What's an interstitial fluid? Oh, well, it's the interstitium, which is the largest organ in the body now. It just beat the skin. It's the pockets in between around your cells, and I guess it if you have too much acid in your blood, which will kill you, it takes it out and it puts it in the fluids, and then it's up to you to sweat it out of your fluids. Go to the bathroom enough, breathe it out, exercise it out. Right. If you don't, that's when it creeps into your joints, into your organs, into your brain, and that's how you end up getting some sort of degenerative disease. And they're all the same. It's not cancer and the different names. It's all acidosis. What I just said. You have too much acid in your blood, and now it's being stored. And once it can't be stored anymore, what happens to your septic tank when it overflows? It's game over. So. Well,
and that's what I tell people, because someone mentioned in my group, so I actually changed my group from breast implants now to just implants, because I go like this: it doesn't matter if you have breast implants, pacemaker, knee replacement. I'm on a Netflix clip called The Bleeding Edge, right? So back in the day, I had a cobalt knee replacement when I was in Hollywood, right? And all of that shit. And they asked me, they're like, hey, can we use you in this documentary? And I was like, well, what's the documentary about? And she goes, implants. I go, but it's not just breast implants. And that's what I keep telling people. It's like you said, all of these things that we're doing. I had another group say, well, you had renal cell carcinoma and I had breast cancer. I said, and it's all the same. She got all upset with me. I said, I'm sorry to be weird to you, but it's all the same. They just don't know. They have to make up a name so they can treat you differently. Cancer is cancer. It happened to affect my kidney, right? I had renal cell carcinoma because the implants were leaking vanadium into my organs for 30 freaking years. So here we are, heavy metals, acidosis, my pH is off, my blood is tainted. Does that mean, that's what I'm telling people. So I'm not disgracing anybody, because yes, you have this cancer, I have that. But when you put it all together, it's all the same thing. It's attacking the weakest part of our bodies. You agree with that, right?
One disease, one cure. It's acidosis, and the cure is alkalinity. That's it.
And actually, maybe we should go back to talk about Nixon way back in the day. Didn't he start the first patent thing for the cancer? I think it was Nixon. So I'm just like, okay, let's here we go again. Political leader and who caused all of this stuff. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it's all agenda. Agenda 21 is in full effect, folks. If you don't know what it is, look it up. The Agenda 2030 is the upgraded version. That's why this is all happening. Supposedly, there's the two theories. There's the one that the good guys, the white coats or whatever they're called, I forget, the QAnon people are shutting down the world right now and arresting the pedophiles and all the bad people. The Hollywood's going down. All the reptilians, the draconians are going down, and the reptilians are going to take over. Sort of the less of the two evils. But it's at least they don't, they don't have the pedophilia thing apparently. The reptilians compared to the draconians. Draconians, for some reason, folks, I've been doing my research, and because they're above body or what they've evolved from, I don't understand it myself, but they're draconian. They don't have a sex. They're not male or female. They're whatever you call it. What do you call that when you're both?
Hermaphrodite.
Hermaphrodite.
Hermaphrodite. Yeah, by the way, that's a whole nother topic, because we both were from Hollywood. This is hard because I said to my friend yesterday, I said, so you're going to trust a celebrity? And I go, don't even talk to me about the airplane crash, because half of the stuff that they do, they pretend people are dead and they put them on a planet somewhere else because they're all with the Illuminati. And she goes, how do you know so much? I go, I've been doing this business for 35 years. The people that come to me are usually celebrities, doctors, people who can afford what I do, right? I have a lot of naturopaths. I hear a lot of different things. And I said, this has been going on forever. And I go, and you want to trust the celebrity? I'm like,
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
That's okay. I remembered it was these draconians, since they're whatever, higher souls or whatever, don't have a sex. That's why they get the jolt from the children. So that's why those ones are the pedophilia types. The Clinton types are I just learned all this for my film, and it's all hearsay, but they're supposedly the Clinton types are the draconians, and that's the reason why they're able to handle the children issue is because they're draconian.
Because they're not real humans.
Yeah, they're not humans. They don't have human souls.
So
but somebody like Trump, who is still Rh negative blood, that's the thing. They all have Rh negative blood. They're lacking the monkey gene. The people that have monkey gene, that's just, they added that to you at some point, to your family line. They added that to you to make it easier on you or something. Or they created you from, I don't know how it all works. Exactly.
Right.
But so yeah, that's why those guys are the pedophiles, I guess. You ever ask yourself, like, how could anybody actually be a pedophile?
No, I go like this. How could actually Tom Hanks be doing Mr. Rogers' movie? I'm like, what is happening with you people? I'm like, I'm Wonder Woman trying to save the world by doing healthy stuff, and this guy is doing Mr. Rogers, whatever. I'm going, oh. You know what I'm saying?
Again, and I don't know if you know my story, but I was a Hollywood guy for a while too, until they gave me the deal, and I was like, don't think so. You're so lucky I'm a nice guy right now.
I'll be honest, because even in my TED Talk, my Hollywood debut, but my lifestyle, I think lasted maybe 2 years, because I was just like, I can't figure something out. And we'll talk later off this podcast, because there's more to my story that's going to be in my book. But I was just like, when I go through this brain stuff with Bruce, because Bruce Lipton and Dr. Joe Dispenza kind of help me with my brain stuff.
Oh my God, they're the best. They're the best.
Okay?
They're the best.
So he says to me, he goes, TK, because my business was hacked in May after I went against Doug Ducey's campaign to change the law.
You know these guys?
Yeah, I know Bruce Lipton and Dr. Joe. They're friends of my ex-husband's, and I did a convention in Sedona. So awesome. I went to Sedona, and Anita More, she's another friend. But hold on, I forgot the situation. I forgot what I was saying.
Okay, it was about Joe Dispenza and...
Oh, okay, so this is what Bruce is talking about. So Bruce Lipton, who actually changed from medicine to now what he's doing, more science like we are, right? He says a lot of us, when we were raised, same with the celebrities, were based on that environment and on that upbringing. So when you're talking about the draconian, however you say that, they even agree. We as a human, if we could, because Joe, use your brain, heal your body, change your cells, and get outside of your body. So I'm trying to say this in a way to explain. like money's an exchange of energy, right? You're talking about these people up there, the puppets that are creating all of the strings to kind of thin the herd. They probably already know how to transform into their own mind and be in a different body. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right. And now what got us on a track there was I was bringing up the story where they were offering me the deal. Were you going on a tangent to tell me about your deal you were offered? Did you get that?
Yeah, but I can't say it on the podcast.
Oh, okay. I got you.
But the reason why I left Hollywood, because even in TED Talk it says this story was also short-lived. There was reasons that I can't talk about. I remember now. So when I went to the convention this last October, because I said, after everything I've been through, I changed my diet, I changed my lifestyle, I changed my friends, my family, lost my marriage, lost my home, my car. There was something not right with my brain. Okay, so when I went and started working with Joe, and trying to change my brain, he said, your business was shut down because you weren't operating on your core values. And I go, what the fuck does that mean? I go, what are you talking about? He goes, all of your clients are strippers and celebs. I'm just going to be honest with you. I was like, okay, well, those are people that can afford the shit that I do. So dancers, celebrities, I have a lot of people that fly into me. I've done Jessica James, Jenna Jameson. I've done a lot of celebrities. And you know, I don't judge anybody because I'm like, hey, maybe there's a way I can help these porn stars, not whatever I'm trying to do, okay? But the whole point of what I'm saying is my business was hacked majorly in May, shut down by whoever, draconian government, whatever. They shut everything down because I switched my core values, like Bruce Lipton said, change your business so you attract core value of what you want. So I started going more cancer, hair loss. My website's all about hair health, hope, and restoration. Do I do extensions? Yeah, I do that. But now I do it for people that actually need it, not the rich people who are vain. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So it was like my core values, and I go, oh my God, here I am, I'm going to be 53 in May. And I go, I've now actually feel like I've learned so much more than I ever knew by changing the way my brain was thinking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's good. So because Raul, I don't know if you see my stuff, I got a buddy, Raul Rodriguez, who's a celebrity fit trainer for the stars.
Right.
And that's how we met. He used to be my trainer back in LA. And he believes a lot. We both do about the Joe Dispenza stuff and the power of the mind is everything. And your body is an amazing, almost like a tarot card for you, or to what's going on emotionally and in your consciousness too, like the shoulders or the back or the whatever side you're on, the masculine, feminine, like, oh, the weight of the world's on my shoulders and it's, oh, my left side, that's my girlfriend, or there's some people are really good at, I've never got into it, but you can almost nail it.
Not to interrupt you. So I'm like you with this whole book thing. I think I'm up to 500 because I like to get like 10 or 15 books a year in. But, and as I said, I was raised conservative Christian, but like Joe and Bruce talk about, I was raised in an environment based on beliefs from my upbringing. Not saying that I disagree with my mother or father at all. However, I've seen more things now that I've got out into the world, visited the Grand Canyon, been to India, China. I've been to other countries. I go like this, okay, there's way more to the story. As a matter of fact, because I keep going off, I want someone to tell me then, all these people who don't believe in what we're talking about, this is what I'm gonna say. Tell me how the pyramids in Egypt were formed, because my father growing up back east, we were like old school. There's no money. They're kind of conservative Mennonitish, right? So there's no money. We weren't raised with money. We were poor. But I asked my dad, he built houses. I go, Dad, how do you think those pyramids were built? And he's like, I don't want to talk about that. I go, well, Jesus didn't make the pyramids because they were built from someone had to build those things from up top down. So do you know what I'm trying to say here? Yeah. People wake up, because in Egypt, that shit humans didn't make that. That's what my point was to that story.
Yeah. No, as far as I'm concerned, those were made by the ETs. Because if you go back to the Sumerian tablets, it teaches you that basically Genesis and a lot of the Bible was copied from the Sumerian tablets, and the Sumerian tablets are just what the people on earth in those days chiseled into the whatever, so we would learn today. And you can take the Bible and just take the word God out and put in the dudes from above or whatever your phrase. But it wasn't God Almighty. It was the dudes from above, like, and they call them the Anunnaki. Those from above came below, and there's more than one of them. So that's going in my next film, the Space Cadet thing, because it basically debunks all religion. All the Abrahamic religions were put into place by the Anunnaki to keep human race down. The Anunnaki are the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds are the chosen ones in the Bible, the Jews they call them. No, that's just the Anunnaki suckered that certain group into thinking they were special and uses them and abuses them worse than anybody else because they actually think that they're on top. But this is some pretty deep stuff. But that's what I've been researching for my Space Cadet film, man.
I want to be in this movie.
Yeah, for sure. Right
I'm not kidding. Like, I got to be in this movie.
You probably will be. There's some cuts from this already, I'm sure.
But I forgot when you were talking about the book. So you were talking about right side, left side, body, disease. It's called The Secret Healing of the Ages. Long story short, when I read this book last summer, I was like, oh my gosh, this is all kind of making sense because I had right side, hearing loss, lost my vision, lost my 4 teeth on the bottom, had a knee replacement, my kidney, everything, my issues were right-sided. And when you read the book, it talks about emotional issues, male or female versus sides of, did you get what I'm trying to say? So like when we put together your story, my story, and you bring Bruce's story or all these other people, it really all is like this. It goes back to preventative, food, stress, people, places, thinking. It's kind of just more simplified like that. And people are making this way more than it is because they're basing things on fear. And that's what I was even saying to my ex-husband. I go, what I would really love if there would be a day where doctors could not diagnose somebody with a code, because once someone has a code, they're like, oh my God, I have Lyme disease. So now here we are, a victim again, right? Mm-hmm. So the whole world is like bowing down to victims when I'm like, all we have to do is come together and try and be more preventative. And that's what the charity is about. So when we talk about superheroes, someone asked me, why Wonder Woman? Well, because Wonder Woman to me is not a fictional character, it's a mindset. And I keep saying this, I've been homeless for 380 days. I've had no car. I've had no income because the government shut down my business in May. And now this stupid virus crap, I have no income again, but I still keep going because I'm not going to let anything else dictate the way that I'm living. And I'm still getting out every day and doing my videos and educating people. And they're like, you're not depressed? And I'm like, no, actually, this is a great time for me to educate the masses. And that's why the charity is called Superheroes, becoming your own superhero. Because when I met Joe, the whole thing when I went to the convention in October was becoming your own supernatural, right? And I told Joe, I said, look, you're different. You know, his background with his chiropractic and whatever he's doing, his background is different. And I said, most humans won't do what he can do, which is get in there and change your mind so you don't have to have your back surgery, okay? I said, but he's teaching people how to remove themselves out of the body that we were born in, which is environment, right? And become our own advocates. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So my charity's kind of the same, but we're trying to treat people, because when I say this, they're like, well, you're a hair person. Yes. But for 35 years, I've been dealing with hair loss on people that are getting extensions. And now when I go, shit, if I knew what I knew now, I could have saved all the celebrities, because I'm guaranteeing half of them are like Lyme, mold, acidosis, bad pH. Like, it's all coming into a head. And then I meet you. So I'm like, this is not a coincidence. Anybody in the planet, I'm like, no coincidences. All this shit's supposed to happen. We were supposed to be lined up for some reason, to, like even Chris Walk. So he interviewed me a couple months ago, right? We're all, and I follow him and I believe in a lot of what he's doing. I said, but I took that piece and I'm kind of over here now with the piece I'm doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Right on. Yeah, Chris Walk, he's a good buddy. He's fighting the good fight.
Well, even yesterday, so he posted about the same thing I did. We were talking about fear or something based agenda, and people are getting all upset about it. And I'm like, but it's the facts and the whole, are you still there?
Yep.
Okay. Hold on, my internet, hold on.
You're doing good.
Oh, so I'm going to say that now too on our podcast. So in the internet room where I am right now, everybody, because I know you all listen to everything I say, I don't have 5G. I'm still on 3. So sometimes this goes out and I say, I don't really want to get 5G right now, but if I don't, I'm not sure my phone will work. But I'm starting to sell shields for the phones. And I've
Right.
been educating people about smart meters. Get the shit out of your house. It's no constitutional law. Have the people remove smart meters, because once this 5G goes rampant, which it is, I post a lot about this, radiation mutations, it's going to make it all worse because they're taxing the whole planet. Even the birds are running into windows because they're all weirded out with the 5G. I know you agree with me on that.
Yeah, and also I'm glad you brought that up because that is supposedly.
Is that the draconians too?
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so 5G. Apparently that's what these people are dying of. They were already full of acidosis from what they eat, drink, breathe, and feel, and are. They're already on the brink of death anyway. Most of you are. If you're not eating better than alkaline, better than vegan and alkaline diet, you're probably
Right.
acidosis. And then,
Right.
so they throw in the 5G right now. Supposedly that's what's killing everybody. My scientist friends that say Bechamp was right and Pasteur was wrong are saying that's why. You know, it's all right now. It's just 5G has nothing to do with the virus. There's no such thing as a virus, supposedly. Supposedly they cannot. They've never isolated a virus ever, ever. I still don't quite get it when they try and explain this one to me, but you know, I'm going with the smarter people that I know and my gut. So, and they're both saying it's the Illuminati.
By the way,
What's that?
and by the way, I said this yesterday to this lady. She asked me how I know so much. I said, because of my gut. My gut is my second brain. Well, why does it work? Because I fix my metabolic issues. I fix my immune. I said, and I eat right so I can feed my brain so it can remember all this stuff. That's another thing. But we know for a fact. So in Arizona, Scottsdale, Flagstaff, Sedona, you've been there, right? You've been to Flag and Sedona?
Yep.
Flagstaff, you feel different. You're not itchy. You're not antsy. You're not scratching your face. You have your swallowing's okay. The minute you get to Scottsdale, you're like, I have anxiety. My face is itchy. Something's weird, because we have 500 towers all over just batting radiation. So they go, why is Scottsdale so crazy? I go, take a look at the facts, because of all the 5G, all the Botox, all the botulism, all the plastic, all the Starbucks. I'm like, I just don't, how do you people not understand this? How can you not understand?
Yeah, yeah. Well, Joe's got to be helping you out a lot. We study him and we transfer those lessons to our clients. You know, when it comes down to, for those of you that don't know, look him up on the internet. He's got amazing YouTubes, and he had like broken his back so bad that he should never walk again. And instead
Who
of
is this?
Joe Dispenza, right?
Oh, right, yeah, right. Right, but see, people don't believe in him, because I went to the thing. You know, now I get people who go, well, that's not about God, and I'm like, what? I'm like, it's about changing my brain. And I've never met anyone else before. So I'm going to go meet Joe, because I'm going to meet him and I'm going to see if it works. So I'm going to tell you something right now. After I got back from that seminar, because they both know my ex-husband, right? And to be honest, like, my ex-husband is a really nice guy. We just kind of, something happened, I don't know, with the cancer and my advocacy, kind of, okay? But I kind of was sort of seeing him a little bit after the convention, because Joe goes, for 30 days, every day I want you to list your intention. What is it that you really want? I said, I would like to rekindle my relationship with the ex so I can explain to him why I was so angry and empty and afraid. Because when I had cancer, I became crazy. Like the people today, I was crazy, I was empty, I was afraid. I went on this like really bad path against people with money. And I know this sounds terrible, but that's in my other book, because I was so angry. I'm like, why do all these rich people, why aren't they helping this cancer community? And why aren't they helping? I was so upset. And it kind of was hard in the marriage. Okay. So I'm trying to go, I have to accept the behaviors that I've done, because I was not in a good place. But here I am now, 7 years later. And I'm like, oh my God, I actually know why we were divorced, because of how I was crazy acting. Right. So he says, 30 days. Try this trick. So for 30 days, every day I had an intention and information that I would text to my ex-husband, right? 30 days later, I kind of started seeing him a little bit. So, you know, even the video, I'm kind of seeing him, and he even says to me last Friday or a couple of weeks ago, are you okay? And I go, what do you mean? He goes, your behavior's improved. What's happening? I said, well, I've been coaching with Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenza about changing the way I think. Do you get what I'm saying? So I still wasn't good either, even after all the groups. I had a couple people call me out and say, you know, you're not really a superhero because of your situation. I said, you know what, you're right. I'm kind of a hypocrite. So I'm going to fix the last part of me, which is fixing my brain. And that's what I'm doing. So that's my tangent on that part of the story.
Right on. Well, you're in good hands, man. Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenza.
I love them. They're very right on the head, you know.
Yeah, yeah. They're number one guys out there for helping people, I think, in these days. Like I say, we use their tactics. We're like realizing that this is it's a projection of what we
case. Right.
This is
it's just a casing, right? So like we're in this body, but it's not. It's the body that whoever, when we were born, gave us this thing, and then we're in there, and then we're raised with these beliefs that we're born with, right? And then by the time we're 30, we're like, fuck, we're still living these beliefs, but they're really not what's core valuating with us, right? Yeah. So after seeing both of them, I go, oh gosh, if everyone could just get on board. But I don't know how many people can really get in there and fix their brain. I mean, it's taken quite a bit. It's been going on since October. We're in March, and I'm still doing his classes because I kind of sometimes slip back, and I have to hit myself in the head, you know?
Yeah, well, at least you're trying, man. That's more than most people. Most people just give up. So I take
That's what I was telling a friend yesterday. I said, and I'm not being discrediting anybody, but like, I watched this Netflix movie called The Affair, right? Because I love Netflix. And I watch all these documentaries like The Game Changer. I love that show.
Yeah.
And this movie, The Affair, obviously, you know, guy has an affair, right? Well, then he goes back to the wife because obviously he was trying to find some love based on fear and emotions. But the whole point of the story was the girl that he cheated with had lost her child. So in spite of losing the child, she started doing consulting to other people who lost their child, right? Well, when I had the business shut down and I went to Sedona for the convention, I changed my whole philosophy. It kind of resonates now with the core values. And that's what I keep talking about with people. If you're doing something every day that you don't feel is your purpose, that's going to make you sick as well and keep you in an acid balanced body. So if you hate your freaking job, but you make $100 grand a year, you're probably going to die. I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, that's why I said no to the deal in Hollywood, man. I would have been a multimillionaire, biggest movie star, and then what?
Yeah.
Blow your brains out like a lot of them do. So that's why I said no, thank you. It wasn't easy because I had to go back to like a $6 an hour job, you know, pumping gas. And here I was on Days of Our Lives, you know.
And you're like, now I'm making $6, right?
Yeah, but hey, I'm pumping my own gas. Ain't nobody pumping me, motherfucker. Fuck Hollywood. Okay, so well, we got a lot of things in common, man. We know what kind of bullshit's going on in Tinseltown, and that's all part of the Illuminati, a part of the deep state they're calling it these days. And it's all in the one. It's the drugs, it's the child trafficking, all that shit, like a draconian stuff I'm telling you about. And right now, just so everybody knows, since I went on that tangent, I might as well tell you the rest. You can't tell them by Rh negative blood. If they're an Rh, I've got a ton of Rh negative friends that are amazing. Okay, I'm just talking about the 0.1% who practice, you know, black magic and they kill children.
Right.
Those are the only ones I don't like that are Rh negative. Everybody else I love. So you got to know that part.
Right.
So, all right, go ahead. I was just clarifying that.
So, you know, like, again, just getting back to the charity, because people keep asking, you know, I've got a couple things. I have a salon directory, so I teach hair people how to help people restore their hair, and I put people on that directory. And then, you know, with the charity, because we're all about hair health, hope, and education, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is even people that come to me with hair loss, like, I mean, this is crazy, but I feel like you could even look in the mirror every day for 30 days and say, let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. Because, you know, going through this training with Joe Dispenza, if we just keep repeating the same thing that we want in a positive way, we can change our brain in 30 days. And even like 6 months, I think something like 6 months, we can repair our DNA by doing the same thing with our cells. I mean, like, there's proven science that we can do this. So I feel like, how do I get out there and really empower more people? Because all I keep hearing, for real, I could never do what you do. I'm not a superhero. I can't get out of bed. So that's where I'm at with you with the video. I want to empower more people to become their own superhero like you and I have. They don't have to be doctors or advocates, because I'm certainly not a doctor, but we're encouraging them about staying preventative. So that's the whole point of this charity is. Like,
yep, it's the pH miracle, really. Robert Young's put it in a book if you don't have the verbiage for it, but
right.
pick up here's one of them. This one's reverse cancer. He's got the pH miracle too. I got that one. This is his main one, and it's really, and my guy that was in my book right here, Dr. Bernardo. This is why I know it's right. 2 guys in a row, Bernardo and then Young.
Right.
9 out of 10 people are being cured of cancer, basically. So proof's in the pudding. What else do we want to talk about today? Anything we missed so far? Do you think of anything?
You're going to have a heyday trying to edit this. That's all I have to say.
It won't be too bad. I just let it play through and then click, click, boom, done. What did I want to ask you though? Oh yeah. So when you say you're homeless, you're obviously not, you have a place to sleep at night?
Yeah, I was sleeping at my hair salon. So that was a situation. When we got divorced, everything was going good. I was making a lot of money. I mean, hair extensions, Scottsdale, everybody wants it. About 6 months after the divorce, like that, I kept saying something when I was, with my attorneys. I go, I don't feel right about this agreement we have. I don't really want any 401k, because I kept saying in our divorce, I didn't marry him for money. I'm doing fine right now. Because I'm not a dick and I still love him, right? I go, I don't want to take the 401k. I just wanted cash to get to the next level, right? Well, long story, I got screwed over by my attorney, go figure, who took all my money. So she took pretty much all the money that I was awarded. Well, then 2 months after that, I went against the state capitol, and I'll send pictures to you. I was lobbying against Doug Ducey, who was trying to deregulate my profession. Well, they did deregulate it. I lost more of my business because now you have all these people who don't have a license trying to do what I'm doing. And they're doing it, why? Because they're like whoever you just said. They have their multitude of like 20 people. They're all on the internet. They're paying the campaign people. Like the people who got shut down didn't support the politicians, right? They didn't support this bill. So when the business got shut down in May of last year, I just started sleeping in my salon because I'm like, well, I already paid $2,000 and I'm already now depressed.
Yeah.
I've already lost my car and my business, and now I'm going to work on my health and my brain. So I stayed at my hair salon for 8-9 months and started doing stuff with Joe. And then I started messaging my ex. So like I said, right now I've been staying at the ex's for a couple months, but that's not a solution to the problem. I need to figure out how to move forward. And that's what I'm trying to explain to people. When all these people are like, oh my God, I'm out of a job, I have to close. And I'm thinking, fuck, I haven't had work for like a year, but I still keep going because I find things to do to make the money that I need, and I just keep going. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think that's why you and I are talking right now. We meant to talk a couple months ago, but now people need to hear this, because guess what? You're not the only one homeless anymore.
but this is what I'm saying, and everyone kept crying to me. I am this, and I'm not, and I'm thinking, I had cancer. First of all, lost organs, kidney, right? Second, have no health insurance, which I should, because everyone's like, you had cancer, you need insurance. I'm like, what the do I need insurance for? They're just going to kill me and not do anything else. And I can't even go to the doctor I want to, because I'm a naturopath. So way back in the day, I actually went to Sweeha. It's a really big school here, and I wanted to be a wellness practitioner. Well, after the TED Talk and the getting flagged and, us writing books, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not practicing because I don't want to be sued, because I know the answer, right? I've already had people say, you're selling me snake juice and weird stuff in your water. And I'm like, it's fucking colloidal silver, like I'm putting this in my water that I make, right? But the whole point is I tell people, no, you're not like me. And I get right now everybody's freaking out. I go, but I've kind of been homeless for a year, and I still have to figure out how to pay my salon, pay my bills, and get from point A to point B. So guess what I do? I do part-time work for the cops. I take pictures of crime scenes right now, and I ride my bicycle. And they're like, well, how do you do that? I'm like, you just do it. There's other ways of finding ways to make money. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think human beings tend to band together at times like this. So I think hopefully that's what I'm sending out, in energy, that everybody has
Right.
their own tribe, and other tribes band together. Because it's really, there's two kinds of people in the world. There's either, you know, the draconian types or the human types. I guess
Right.
there's some lizards that are sort of in the middle. That's the Trump types,
Mhm.
you know. And I know everybody, I don't know what you think of Trump, but he's not the most evil on the planet,
Right.
apparently, because the lizards actually are male and female, so they don't have that weird child thing or, you know, sexual thing. That's why
Right.
they're a little. Anyway, but that's what we are. And guess who was here first though? Before humans, the lizard types were here.
Well,
They
the
were,
dinosaurs are the oldest creatures, right?
yeah.
Dinosaurs.
So
Right.
it's really they've been here longer than us, you know, and we've just been growing by the Anunnaki that came. They grew us like a plant. They give us like a big marijuana crop.
Right.
We're the OG. That's what we are though, human beings to the from those that came down made it. But now we've evolved so far that apparently, like, that's why we're standing up for ourselves. I'm standing up anyway. I see it all, and I see who the bullies are in the playground, and I'm just
Right.
pointing them out because they have names and addresses, and they're not allowed to get away with this anymore. Is the way I look at it. I don't know if
Right.
it's from their inbreeding too much, the elites, or if we just caught up to them. You know, maybe our evolution has caught up to them
Well,
in
what I think is, I think
showdown.
this is a funny oxymoron because Bill Gates is a dick, and I go, thanks, Bill Gates, for making the internet because now we're actually finding out that you made the patents. I'm just like, this is kind of an oxymoron, right? So the people that created it, it's now coming back to bite them. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because way back in the day, I tell people the internet can be used for a lot of things. It could be used for good, like this, like we're promoting and we're helping, but it can also put a lot of shit out there and cause fear-based agenda. And like, you know, this last week I've been making my little memes and promoting stuff, and people are just like, I can't believe you're talking like this. I go, well, I've been through it and I've been homeless for a year already. So let me explain to you that this is not the end of the world. There's things that are going to happen. The reason they're making the whole stimulus package bullshit is because they planned this to happen and like, come in and save the day, Mr. President and the governor. We're going to give everybody $2,000. Whoopie crap, because they did this on purpose. So I'm like this, you already know. Now let's all join together, because I've asked about, we have a community here. There's about 40 people. And I reached out today and I said, hey, would anyone like to be a volunteer for my charity, Superheroes? And they're like, well, what do you mean it's social distancing? And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I need to educate you people, because they're all upset because Chris talked about going out yesterday and he offended half the world because he's out and about, right? And they're like, well, you're making it bad for the rest of us. He's like, but I'm healthy. And he goes, and I'm not afraid and I don't want to be stuck inside. He goes, I'm not sick. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, they're all sold on this. They don't even know that there's a Pasteur or a Bichamp. They just know that, oh, what my government said, that's it. You know, and how anybody still does
And
that.
I'm like this. There aren't any cures for viral infections. Why? Because I've had them. Epstein's-Barr and Lyme. You can't just, I mean, there's not a vaccine, or what I'm trying to say. The cure to those things is how you're eating. So if you have Lyme disease that was made in fucking Spain, like I think in 1960s shit and too, and I tell this to everyone because I get so mad, especially with my dad right now. I said, Lyme disease, you guys are retarded because you don't have to be bit by a tick. It's injected in the food. I said, the reason why I went macrobiotic and stopped eating meat when I left my parents, because in Amish country, I'm not going to bullshit you, completely different cow, grass, food, Amish country versus Arizona, Phoenix, right? You can tell the difference. I said, but now everything's plumped up with IGFs. So I tell this lady, I'm not eating any meat. If you want to eat meat, period, that's fine. She goes, well, you're going to kill everybody by going vegan. I said, no, actually, the people that aren't vegan are probably going to die themselves off because of the antibiotics. Lyme is now everywhere. I post about this, but back in the military days, dioxicon, the word, they inject people. All of our vets right now that are fucking out here being crazy, I'm like, they're not crazy. They have Lyme disease. Same with diabetes. So my dad had his legs amputated, and when all this happened, and I went to the hospital in Pennsylvania, and I tried to talk to the vascular surgeon. I said, I need to talk to you. I said, and I need to talk to the dietitian who weighs 300 pounds, because you're not giving my dad Insure. He has a co-infection. Before you cut his leg off and make $80,000, can you guys please? I brought all this stuff to my parents, right? I'm like, please put this colloidal silver in my dad's water, right? And I start bringing all these things. The doctor was like, we can't talk to you right now. And the dietitian's like, you're going to need to leave the room. I said, you weigh 300 pounds. I don't really think you can talk to my dad. Long story, I started putting this shit in my dad's water, right? And I'm trying to explain to my father, diabetes, Dad, again, man-made food, co-infections, viruses, before they start taking everybody's freaking legs off. I'm like, oh, it's another passion I have about diabetes. Does that make sense? That's all. It was a tangent I'm going on.
No, that's okay. Yeah, well, and it's all, again, acidosis. That's all it is. Acidic.
And I'm like this, maybe we could train the doctors to actually do what we're doing. Oh God, wouldn't that be great? Let's talk about prevention. Well, then you wouldn't make any money because preventive medicine doesn't get repeat customers. Is that what I'm trying to say? See?
Yeah, their draconian system, again, is set up to basically bleed us of our blood, our tears, our love, because for some reason that they can manipulate the world with their black magic demons, I guess, with all that kind of stuff. But not once we're all awake. Once everybody awakes and learns that they're there, we're going to be able to think them away.
Well, that's what I think this is. I feel like this whole coronavirus, which I tell people, she goes, why do they call it that? I said, because it's a multitude of viruses in one. I said, but I've already had 7. And I've been through the last 10 years of SARS and West Nile and Ebola and all that shit. I said, I've been through so much of this stuff. I go, but if you actually change the way you eat and think, you just pass it, so shall pass. Do you get what I'm trying to
say? Yeah, you and I are the proof of it. And this whole apartment, we all went through it. It was a shitty cold. Bummer. That's it. The rest is mainly hype. I have to put my money on it's just hype. Now, I've got some nurse friends that have said, no, Ian, we're it's crazy. People are dying and suffering. And I'm like, okay, I get it. But I mean, really any different than last year? Because the statistics say no. They say the same amount are dying this time as last year at this time, So
what about tuberculosis? They forget about this. And then, you know what, I have to say this because this really hit my nerve yesterday. I posted about cancer and death, and they're like, well, that's not a pandemic. I'm like, no, but it's an epidemic, and it can be also cured because it's a man-made disease that was created from Nixon like 100 years ago, people. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Do you see, like, the thinking? And that's why one thing I posted about Bill Gates, just to kind of throw the feeler out, it was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I have a TED Talk. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Sorry.
That's right. Now that TED Talk, you have a TED Talk it's on the internet. I've seen it.
Yeah, that's another thing. If you can put that in this link. So the TED Talk that I did, I'm going to say this to people. My TED Talk was flagged 6 times because I am not a medical doctor, because I turned in my practitioner license and became a consultant. But when I did my TED Talk, it was kind of getting to the root issue. I explained about inflammation and how the body gets in disease with your metabolic issues. And it's all about foods. So even at the end of my TED Talk, foods, roots, seeds, and nuts. I mean, it talks about that. So here I am, raised in Amish country at 18, amazing. My mother is my mom is the epitome of health, 80 years old, still roller skates, angry at my father for not listening, because now she has to take care of him, because my mom is a health freak, okay? So my mom has taught me so much stuff, not to mention Dr. Whitaker, but like he's a friend of ours, and he created some silver stuff, and then Kevin Trudeau about the vinegar cure and all that, right? But at the end of the day, it's like the TED Talk specifically says, what happened to me when I left Amish country? I got cancer, I got disease, I moved to Hollywood, I lived a lifestyle. Okay, so here we go now. It's like this big circle. I started at this circle. I had to go through all the shit, go to Hollywood, be in entertainment, maybe be a stripper for a year, maybe manage clubs, do the movie world. I had to get into all of that to come back to the circle, which I am now, which is my core beliefs, which is what Bruce Lipton's teaching. Get back to your core beliefs, which is now I'm helping cancer people. That's what I'm doing. Because I want them to have healthy hair, because I'm like, hey, you can have this. This actually is my real hair with some strands of extensions, but my real hair is pretty decent because of the lifestyle that I chose, and I turned everything around. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you've lived and learned, and you're writing books about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I have 2 books right now, but I like I said, I'm not like you guys, and I keep changing the book because I don't want to be, I want to make sure what I talk about sticks with the core values of what I'm doing. So.
Yeah, take your time, and that's what I love about art, any kind of art. You can just take your time.
I guess like at the end of the day, the most important thing with talking with you now today is with this whole situation with everyone flipping out about making money and losing money. Again, like I'm going to keep saying, I haven't had a home for a year or a car or health insurance or any income. And they're like, well, how do you keep going? That's another story. But I'm here to empower more people to become their own superhero advocate and learn how to do things, because this is a time for radical transformation. Whether it be starting to get online, make online courses, or make friends with your community, or start bike riding now, because everyone's complaining. My kids, I'm stuck at home. I'm like, get out and ride your fucking bike. It's like 70 degrees here. It's the best time to go for bike rides. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go ride your bicycle.
Always look at the bright side of life. You remember
Right?
that? You remember?
Yeah.
I just
Right,
spotted it.
yeah, I did.
Yeah. That's everybody's got to start watching Monty Python movies. Just start watching some Monty Python movies and loosen up a bit, man. And I think everything's going to be good. I'm hoping it's over in the next week or two. There's no way that make us go months and months, because we all know it's a sham. It's a joke. If I walked out there and saw the Dawn of the Dead and like thousands of zombies, I would totally be like, yeah, forget it. Let's stay home. But no, nobody's getting nothing. You know, I even asked the guy, his wife works at the local hospital, the big hospital. They put tents up, and because they were planning on this huge thing, and then nobody shows up hardly. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So yeah, don't get panicked, folks. It's just a part of the new world order, whatever you want to call them. They're trying to ruin, make you hurt. They're making us hurt. So forgive each other, love each other, band together. That's what we got to do right now. Band together, and we're gonna get through it. Somehow we're gonna get through it. How can
I believe that too.
Yeah. So, well, my dear, I think we had a really good show. We seemed to cover a lot of stuff. Sounds like you've been through a heck of a journey, and you're not quite done yet. But it looks like you got both hands back on the bars. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There you go.
Which is also a yoga pose. So people ask me why. I mean, there's a whole reason why I chose superheroes. So I'm going to explain to everyone, because I had someone on my Facebook group. I have a group now with about 1,000 people. It's called Transformation to Wellness with TK. And they're like, well, why is it transformation to wellness? I'm like, well, have you watched my TED Talk? Because I cured myself, right? And I keep saying this to everybody. It's like, at the end of the day, like superhero, she goes, well, it's not spelled right. I'm like, it's for a purpose, because I do hair. So it's spelled super hair for a reason.
That's funny. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that's about it then. We'll stay in touch, and let me know how that hair piece works out for your friend.
Well, now I have time to do that over the next 6 weeks now, is to make someone a little wig.
Yeah, cool. And just stay in touch with me, man. Let me know how things are going.
Awesome.
The next thing, I got some friends in Arizona, so if I go to visit them, I'll let you know.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot for being on the show, TK, and the HairDoc. Do you have a website to give out real quick?
It's HairDocTk.com, my name.com.
Excellent. All right. Have a good one.
I appreciate it. Continue on, superhero. Thank you for all you're doing.
You know it. All right. Bye, everybody. Peace.
Bye. Love you. Bye.
There. Cool. Right on. Excellent. I think that was good, right?
Yeah.
Liked it?
Yeah. Am I supposed to do anything over here?
No, we're done. That's good.